In the search for a naturalistic explanation for the Book of Mormon, the critics have beaten the trees pretty thoroughly for sources that might have influenced Joseph Smith. And one of those seems on its face to be pretty reasonable, since the Book of Mormon includes hundreds of verses that clearly quote or allude to the King James Bible. Maybe Joseph Smith took a look at some of the available Bible commentaries to help shape his adaptation. This could include the relatively popular 5,000-page commentary published by Adam Clarke in 1817. Now, there's little reason to believe that Joseph had a Bible in hand for the translation of the Book of Mormon, let alone had access to that 8-volume monstrosity, but that doesn't stop people from making the argument. And Kent P. Jackson, a retired professor of religion and a PhD in Near Eastern Studies, has a new article out that reviews and responds to the latest version of that argument. That latest proposal is from Colby Townsend, who claims to have found evidence that Joseph used Clarke to inform changes to the Isaiah chapters as they were adapted for the Book of Mormon. Townsend came up with 11 proposed examples, which probably represents the best you could come up with looking through the 400-plus verses of Clarke's commentary that corresponds with the material in the Book of Mormon. I don't have time to cover all of it, but I'll give you one concrete example. When quoting Isaiah 2:13-16, the Book of Mormon adds the phrases, "and upon all the nations," and upon every people. Townsend thinks this must have come from Adam Clarke. Why? Because Clarke mentions in his several long paragraphs on these verses kings, princes, potentates, republics, states, and cities. I don't know about you, but you might be able to think of some other explanations for how those phrases got there, besides Adam Clarke saying a bunch of things the Book of Mormon doesn't actually include. Now, the rest aren't much better, and I think Jackson's actually being pretty kind when he uses language like, "This conclusion is incomprehensible. None of this free association of random dissimilar vocabulary is to be taken seriously," and "this is not an academic product, but a search for ways to justify a predetermined conclusion. It is not serious scholarship." Check out the full article to see the remaining examples, and take a look at another Jackson article from a few years ago looking at a similar proposal about the Joseph Smith translation. I'll see you next week.